Grab a beer and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. This is Mike, the Northwoods Beer Guy. And as always, I am joined by Jim.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Another day in paradise, living a dream.
That's good. And we are once again joined by our favorite German beer connoisseur, Toby.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going good. How about you?
Awesome. Good.
All right. Glad to be here.
We were a little concerned. Jim tried to mess up his knee, so we didn't know for sure how we were going to get him down here to the studio, but we learned if you just push him down the stairs, he goes real quick.
Yeah, he went fast.
Yeah, he didn't hardly cry or nothing. I was impressed.
Just slide down your butt.
That's what we tried, but he wouldn't go, so...
Well, the other good part with bringing Toby along, he's got some very good beers here that look very interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, we are... once again, going to be tasting some Czech beers and a number of German beers. And
Yes.
These are all different ones than what we had the last time that we had a Czech and German style show. So we left it to Toby, and he didn't disappoint. He brought a whole bunch of different ones, so we're looking forward to it.
There's a theme here, Mike.
What's that? Toby
and Jim bring out their A-level stuff,
Okay.
where you bring out some of your not so A-level stuff. So you need to. Can you start taking some notes from Toby on how good the beers are supposed to be?
Okay, I'll try. You know, one time you bring Shinerbach, and he never let you live it down.
But it was a case. It was a case.
It was their Christmas pack, and it took 2 shows, and it was, well, you've heard it. It was something.
Not good.
All right.
Well, we're kind of thirsty. So what do we got going here?
Why don't we start it out here? And we're going to start with a Czech style beer, Pilsner. How do you say that, Toby?
You're cool?
I'm cool. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you.
Urquell.
Nice. Well, I did find a little bit on it. Is there anything on it?
It says the original Pilsner.
Well, did you know why?
Because it's the original.
That would make sense. That's what it says.
But what it says here, as I found out, is that Urquell brewery, the name of the town it's brewed in, is Pilsen.
Really?
So they named the bill Pilsner.
Huh.
In German, it was a German name in the Czech Republic.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, that is
I
interesting.
had no idea on that. Well, let's crack this bad boy open. It's in a green bottle, so it must be a dark beer.
Yeah.
I've told you that story, haven't I?
Yeah.
So I think it's even got some barbecue in it.
Barbecue?
Yeah, because it says it's got Saz hops.
Oh.
Huh.
How does that
Not
tie
sure
into a
about that.
barbecue?
Isn't there Saz's barbecue?
I think it's his knee is messing up.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Is he on
Saz's
pain
barbecue?
meds? I mean, is it safe for him to be sampling these beers today?
I don't know. We're giving him a baby glass to start with just to see, because we're not sure what's going on here.
So I think one of the things to point out, with these beers is, God bless the USA. We've been around a couple hundred years, and in Europe, a couple thousand years old.
Yeah.
And so they started this beer process over there, and they've got some good stuff.
Yes.
And they still follow the purity law.
Purity law, yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. All right. So
so
this is the original Pilsner.
All right. So if you take your first drink, I got another
Ooh.
interesting thing.
It's almost got a sweet kind of an aroma to it.
That's good.
Yeah. That doesn't taste like your normal, like an American Pilsner.
No, not at all.
That actually has flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What was the ABV on that again, Mike?
4.4.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, and what we did, ladies and gentlemen, is we are actually going from the lowest ABV up to the highest, which the highest is 5.8. So they're all, pretty much in that mid 4 to upper 5 range.
Right. So one other thing I just found here, it said the original beer. So that was trademarked in 1898. But before that, by 1839, most beer in Bohemia, which is before I think a lot of the countries started dividing up whose country was what. In Bohemia, the beer were dark and top fermented. However, bottom fermented lagers were gaining popularity, and the people of Pilsen preferred imported, cheaper bottom fermented beers to the local top fermented ales.
Huh.
So they made their own style. Because I think you'd mentioned that, right, Toby, that each city pretty much has their own way of brewing their beer, what ingredients they use.
Yeah, and all the hops are very regional to to where they make the beer, and they do have different unique flavors depending on where you go, and that's why it's fun to go there because you can try so many different beers. So it's always enjoyable.
City by city, it's different. So you don't even have to.
That's what I was going to ask. So each city kind of has its own specialty beer, so to speak.
Yep.
That it does. Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty wild. Nothing is kind of wild. I mean, the color of this is a lot darker than your Pilsners here in the States.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's not super dark, but I mean, but it has more of almost an amber-y kind of color to it instead of just your plain yellow.
Right, and I mean, I don't have a bad aftertaste. I mean, there's no linger. I mean, once you take a drink, it pretty much washes itself. I mean, you could probably drink a few of these, I think. On a hot day, I think you could really
let's say
mow the lawn.
4.4%. So, you could take several of them, I'm guessing. It's still a little bit higher than, your big beers, but and as far as Pilsners,
Have we ever looked, I don't know if this is even a challenge, but I mean, so like these are all, this one is out of the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Is it different, like out of a can, like since it's coming from overseas, or is it doesn't matter, the bottle can doesn't make any difference?
I don't know. Have you ever seen, I don't know if I've ever seen a lot of these in a can. Every time I've seen their bottles. I
was just going to say, there's a few, like we got one coming up that I see a lot of in a can.
Okay.
And not one of my favorites, but it definitely, it seems like bottling is the way they do the majority of it.
So it keeps a better flavor base.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I wasn't quite sure on that. I mean, because I'm still learning how to do this. I'm trying to follow Mike's footsteps.
Yeah, well, you look what happens. He tries to follow my footsteps and he almost blows his knee out.
Gets hurt.
Yep, gets hurt doing it.
Well, Mike, since you finished, what are you going to start with stars?
I like this. I thought this was very good. For a score, I'm gonna do like a 2.7. I think it's better than average. Like I said, I did like the. It almost had a little bit of a sweet aroma. It had more flavor to me than your normal Pilsners here.
Yep.
And and at 4.4, you could drink a number of them, and I thought it was good.
Nice. Toby, what are you thinking?
Well, I think it tastes like more. So, based off of that, I'm going to go just a little bit higher. I really like this one because of the drinkability of it, and so I think I'm going to go 2.9 on it.
Nice. Now, you're not being biased because you brought this, right? You're impartial.
Totally impartial. I give you my true judgment on every beer I drink.
Perfect.
I might not remember every beer I drink, but I'll tell you.
There you go. And I think for me, I mean, I like the beer. I mean, I don't. There's nothing negative I can say about it. I mean, it's good. I've never had this beer before. I'm never even. I mean, so first time trying it, really good. Yeah. Appreciate you bringing it, Toby. So I'm glad that we got to try it. I'm going to go right between you guys. I'll be the Oreo in there. I'll be the 2.8.
He's the fill-in. I think he meant the fill-in.
Yeah.
Oreo. Again, I think that's the medication.
Were we insulted? I'm not.
Yeah, should we have?
Right. I wondered.
See, I'm trying to be.
We might have to take a break here and figure out if we should be mad at that.
See, I'm trying to be nice to you guys.
And this, the thing that's kind of wild is this is the only one in a green bottle.
Yeah.
And which is good.
So we'll have to see now that since this is the beginning of the category, if that influences any of the other flavors.
Right.
So that's cool though.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see if I can.
There we go. We got Pilsner, something. I'm cool or something.
You're
cool.
Is it taken after Mike?
Well, yeah, it's they made it especially for me.
No, not cool.
No, it's you're cool.
See,
man, rough crowd.
All right, here's a little quiz for you.
Okay.
Toby,
Ooh.
Which famous rock band named a song after our next beer? Oh.
Named a song after the next beer.
Yes.
Wow.
Is it a trick question or
is it? No, it's and you know the band.
Is it obvious because the name's on the bottle or?
No, I would have never guessed this.
It's going to be a band we've never even heard of. Probably.
No, you're going to kick Mike in the knee after I tell you the name.
So they named it
Tout Le Monde.
So that's the name of a song.
Yes, by this famous rock band. Because I'm just trying to work in because I got some other questions later on too.
See, Toby, I forgot to tell you when he has the answers, then he acts like we're really silly.
Yeah,
and don't know much.
So is this when you say rock band, is it like the heavier rock band?
Oh yeah, really.
So I'm just going to say Metallica as a guess.
Okay, so you're 25% right. That should give you the answer.
I'm going to say Megadeth because it's on the bottle.
Yes.
That's what you said.
I did say that.
Yeah. Megadeth.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see it on the bottle.
Yeah, it's right there. It says Megadeth on the bottle.
Oh, I didn't. So I wonder if they, I don't know. I'm trying to look up here, but I didn't see, like, I think you found another beer that was,
and some Iron Maiden stuff.
Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I wonder if this is similar. I don't know.
Well, there's been a number of them that different bands that have been making. I don't know if they make it or they just get in the licensing agreement. But like I said, Iron Maiden. You've got Megadeth. I've heard who else? Somebody else.
All right. Well, hang on 1 second, Mike.
But this is brewed by Unibroue.
All right, hold on.
Or
So
Unibroue. So does it say on here what style this is?
So it's a Belgian style.
Okay.
Yep, and a lot of them are. Same thing with the Iron Maiden ones. They're kind of a Belgian style.
Yep.
And obviously those they must like those type, and you'll like this, or you'll be like, I can't finish it.
Right.
Okay, so Toby, I asked you the first question. So Mike, what does a Tout Le Monde mean in English? Translate that for me.
It means a tight Le Monde. I have no idea.
Was I gonna guess?
Tight Le Monde.
Does that have something to do with Greg LeMond?
No.
Does it have anything to do with bottled beer?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
It does.
All right. Context clues here.
So when Mike popped the top is like the biggest clue you could have.
So like the bottle cap or the
Opening of the bottle. Popping of the top.
Oh.
That's what it means?
No, it means to set me free.
Oh.
See? Look at see.
Yeah, I wasn't going there,
No,
but
I wasn't even remotely close.
no, thanks for clarifying, Jim.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to educate you guys, get you up to speed on all this high speed stuff.
That smells like a Belgian.
It does.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't. I mean, the aroma's not overpowering though.
You can taste the Belgian, yeast and stuff. That's pretty
That's good, though.
I say that's good.
That's a really good one.
So you think that there's? I mean, the Belgian yeast doesn't. Usually, to me, that's turns me off to the beer. But if this is Belgian yeast, this does not taste like the Belgians we've had previously, right? I mean,
right. It's not quite as a lot of the other ones we've had to have almost like a fruity taste to it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So here's trivia for Jim.
Now let's see who's Mr. Smarty Pants.
All right.
What would you say the IBUs is of this one?
Well, if I'm going by the true definition, it's supposed to be hoppiness from the definition. I don't taste much for hoppiness. So I'm going to have to say below 20. I'll say 15.
Got a guess on that, Mike?
I don't want to be exactly like Jim, so I'll say 20.
And you are correct.
Me?
You are the winner.
Wow.
It is 20, yeah. And I think that was a surprising point to this, because typically when you think of these Belgians, you're kind of concerned about the bite they might have, and this doesn't have it.
No, you're right. I mean, that's the part that really was surprising to me is just it is smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good.
Yeah, I have not had this, and this is a good find.
Oh, for sure.
It's an ale brewed with spices.
And you got to give them credit on the labels because they have I don't remember what their guy's name is, but like the Iron Maiden one had Eddie, their mascot guy, and this has Megadeth's mascot guy on it. That's pretty cool. Like I said, it'd be interesting to know if, are they is this like a something that, like a recipe he had or something, or is it just they got into a licensing agreement with the company?
And I think this music was made in the early 2000s. Okay. So this beer, I mean, they must continue the licensing agreement. If it's going on 20 years later, it's still going on. So
but I don't know if the beer was out all that time. Or if they just recently came out with it,
or was this in Toby's fridge for 20 years?
No.
No, I think this was a recent find.
That's what I say. I just wonder if it's like a newer one that I'm sure they come out with it every year, keep doing it. But I just wonder if it was one where the song was out 20 years ago and this is like, let's say 10 years ago, they first started coming out with it. I don't know. It'd be interesting to.
But it's a good time because, I mean, we all of us like the rock music.
Right.
So, I mean, that was a good tie in there for us.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Toby, since you brought it, you want to go first on this one for your scoring?
Well, it always gets hard because you have beers in front of you and you kind of, do you compare them or don't you? And two totally different styles of beer. So when I think of Belgian ale style that I've had, this is above average to some of those other ones.
Okay.
So that's how I'm basing my rating. And because of that, I'm like a 3.2 on this one.
Nice. Mike?
I was gonna say I'm gonna go like a 2.9. I do like it. I think that it has it's definitely a little more unique than some of the other kind of Belgian influenced that we've had before. But I do like the fact that it's not quite as Belgian-y, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's good. 2.9.
So I think for me, I'm going to go like a 3.0. And the only reason I don't usually do this, but I'm just basing it on our first beer. So that one was good, but this one has a little more flavor. Not a bad, but a better flavor. So I think I'm going to make it a 3.0.
Did we happen to mention that it's 4.5% ABV? I don't remember if we said that.
No, I don't think we have.
Yep, the first one is 4.4 and this one is 4.5.
Nice. Well,
So it's just one tick up higher, but you can still drink a number of them, and it's definitely, boy, I don't know, between those first two, I don't know which one I'd grab. If they said, here, you want this one or this one? You know, because it'd be a tough choice because they're both actually, I thought,
really
very
good.
well.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I mean, we're starting off good.
Yeah.
Mike, do you see this trend of what Toby brings good beer? And you need to take
Oh, boy.
Do you need a pen so you can take down notes?
No, I got it locked in here now.
Oh,
Steel trap. I got it figured out.
I sure hope so, because you don't want us tasting those other bad beers that you bring.
Well, you know, I don't know they're bad when I bring them.
You don't?
No, some of them I've never tasted before. Most of them I've never tasted before.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take your word on that.
I tell you. So you got anything else, or should we go to another beer?
No, we can go to another beer.
Okay. All right.
Because Toby might have some more info on this one.
So this one is Bitburger Premium Pils. And this was brewed in, what is that town? So it almost looks like Sittberg.
In Bitburg.
Bitburg, sorry. Yep,
Rhineland.
Germany. Yep.
Yeah. So this comes from like central Germany, more so if you kind of look at Germany on the map.
Okay.
We've got some others that are closer to Munich, so probably difference between here and Madison is about the difference of it. So
So do they have their own tent at Oktoberfest, like Hacker-Pschorr does?
I don't know.
They have like the huge beer hall.
Hacker-Pschorr's got
Hacker-Pschorr does.
Yeah.
big.
One of the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first one we've had that's in a can, not in a bottle. We only have two that are in a can.
Oh, not what you've ever drank, but just for our tasting.
No, in our tasting.
Yeah.
And this one, I think, when I've ever seen it, it's been in a can.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a premium pills.
Premium.
See that, Mike? So this is mine. Premium.
Okay, so mine was
It actually has the word in it.
mine was the original, and yours is the premium.
So that means mine's like 3 or 4 steps above yours.
Okay, well, that's what I thought. And this is 4.8%.
4.8.
So it's, again, just a little bit higher. Oh, no.
It isn't?
No, it won't.
Oh,
It,
what was that over there? Did you shake that one up?
no, I tried to do the cat call, and it didn't like it.
Really?
This one is a lot lighter in color than that first Pilsner we had. This looks like more like what you would expect for a Pilsner
Right.
in color.
Well, did you see what the name this color?
Pilsner?
No, the color.
Yeah. It's not,
Hey,
the color
put
name
the
isn't.
poofy in and clean it out. They said the color of this is straw.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't know that was a crayon color. We'll have to get that new box of crayons from Mike now.
Sure.
So this Pilsner is the third largest selling beer in Germany.
Really? Does it say, do you know what the 1 and 2 are?
It does not. Of
Okay,
course,
but this is number 3.
yeah.
Interesting.
According to their information that
Okay.
they're providing, but yeah.
Nice.
And it's the nation's top selling draft beer.
Oh.
So I bet you there's a difference between the draft and
I was going
a
to say,
can.
I bet you
Yes.
they taste probably vastly different.
I mean, this isn't bad. I mean, it's almost like the very first one. Or you think it's not even
I think
as-
the first one had more flavor than what this one does.
Yeah, and this one, it just ironically, the name Bitburger, I always think of a little bit bitter.
Oh,
You know, it's
It does have-
got a little bite
yep, you're right.
that you'll find in some of the European Pilsners, but it's not horrible.
So I wonder if it would taste different in a bottle. rather than a can.
It probably would. That's been the debate for a long time, is if a beer's in a can, because sometimes it seems like they pick up a little bit of a metallic taste from the can.
Right.
I don't know if that's actual
and none of
proven
these are
science,
all
but
bottled overseas, right, and shipped here. These aren't bottled in the United States.
all except the last one.
Right, the last one. But these are all.
The rest of them, yeah, they're all.
Well, I think the Megadeth beer, that's in a partnership. That brewery is actually in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
I saw that. So,
Okay.
But the rest of them,
The next three are for sure
brewed overseas.
overseas, yeah.
Those are from Toby. That's good.
So
he actually goes overseas. They pick these up, Mike. And
He
brings
flew
them back.
over there and brought
He
them back
flew over there,
himself?
yeah.
This morning. He just got back this morning with these.
It must be nice to have access to a Learjet to get over there.
No, he's doing it for you, buddy.
I know. I said it. I appreciate it.
See, I mean,
That's why we bring him back.
he's bringing good beer. This is good.
Yeah. So one of the things that we always try to do is give the listeners what the smell and what flavors are in it, trying to figure that out, right?
Yep.
And we did that in our words. Here's their words, right?
Okay.
From
this
there.
will be interesting.
Yeah. So the flavor. You ready for this?
Yep.
Skunkiness up front.
Okay.
So
Wow.
they just throw that out there. It was like, okay.
Drop right on the table.
So, not to stop you a second, but usually skunkiness is a bad thing.
Exactly. And that's why I'm, like that's what they're saying.
Is that really what you want people to think about?
But then it's followed by malty biscuit,
Okay.
honey, and cracker.
Huh.
Like Uncle?
Yeah.
Grits?
Yeah.
What kind of cracker? Saltines?
Uncle Cracker.
That is weird. Does it say anything about the aftertaste? Because it does have kind of a
So
bitter.
what it says, Mike, is it says floral hops bring on some spice and bitterness along with some lime.
I don't think.
No,
Think
I
that's
didn't-
what the bitterness is from, the lime?
I think the floral hops bring on some spice and bitterness. So it must be the type of hop that they use.
That's
Wow.
different. I guess I don't really pick up any kind of a lime
No.
flavor to it. But that's just weird that they portray skunkiness as being a positive.
Right.
Usually it's like, oh, this is skunky. Let me get rid of it.
Yeah. If you're, weren't you a marketing major?
Yes, it was.
Isn't you want to emphasize your positives and
Yes, and typically skunkiness is not a positive.
okay,
It's
well, I'm just
positively
checking.
bad usually.
Positive, for sure. It's
Yes.
one of those for sure. Wow.
That's why I said it really was kind of confusing a little bit. Like they were saying this is a positive.
Did we say what the ABV on this one was?
4.8. Yep.
4.8. All right. So do you want me to go first?
Sure.
I think I'm tasting all things you guys have said. Definitely not a bad beer. I mean, I'd recommend this if somebody wants to try one of these, beers from Germany, Czech beers. I think it's a good representation of it. But is the best we've had so far? I don't think so. I think I'm going to go with 2.7.
Okay. I'm going to 2.5. Personally, I think this is, of the three, this is the lowest of the three for me so far. I would much rather have either of those first two.
Okay.
More so than this. Just that bitterness on the aftertaste and such. It's not off-putting, but it's kind of like, yeah, those other ones were better. So I'm going to go 2.5. So again, I think it's average. You know what I mean? It's not terrible, but yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. 2.5. I think it's average. Obviously, it does well. I'd really like to try it on tap.
Yeah.
'Cause they say
Yes.
that,
I think that'd be really good.
So, one other point with this is, this original company was formed in 1817.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Was Mike born yet?
No. Jim was in high school at that time.
Oh.
You had brought that up earlier, Toby, about, how long the United States has been around and how these other companies, and you look at like Guinness, they've been brewing beer since the 1500s.
Right.
And it's just like, what? And the same with it. I mean, even here, 1817, I mean, that's the oldest brewery in the United States is Yuengling. And the second oldest is Point.
Oh.
And they started in 1854 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
But Yuengling's been around since pretty much they landed and started brewery.
Right.
Wow.
Jim, there is a little bit of the Bitburger one left if you...
No, I'll let you guys, if you want to finish it.
Okay. Do you have any other questions or that you wanted to try and stump us on before this next one? Or
Well, on the next one, Toby, put your phone down because I got to ask you a question.
Oh,
It's gonna go.
wow.
Do you see?
I just got scolded.
I think he's acting like you were going to cheat.
yeah.
That
'Cause-
is
so-
very
so-
rude.
So here's the question: whenever you open up one of these sites, any beer website,
Yep.
what's the first thing that pops up on the screen?
The age verification thing.
When I typed in this one just now, what was the age that came up that said you had to be above?
12.
Okay, Mike.
I was going to say, what's the drinking age in Germany? Well, that's kind of like Wisconsin. It's 12. I'm just guessing. I'm going to say 15.
16. It says,
Oh,
"Are
it
you
was
16
16?
years?"
Really?
Right. So that's why I said, because as soon as you type it in, it would come up
Yep.
with that. So that's.
Yep.
But yeah, so I was like, well, that's.
I had no idea.
So I don't know if that's just for this German for
Hacker-Pschorr.
Hacker-Pschorr. So where's the
No,
B come in?
no, we're in
Oh, the Hofbrau. Hofbrau. I'm sorry.
Hofbrau.
So where the original it looks like.
This is Hofbrau
Original.
original from Hofbrau München. München.
I think that just means a city, right?
Munich. Yep.
It's 11.2 fluid ounces, so it's a smaller bottle.
Because I was in the town of München-Gladbach.
Really? I didn't know that.
But I seen a lot of towns had that word München with the 2 dots above the U.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that meant city of or.
Those 2 dots are called an umlaut.
See, he just now he's going to have to think about hash browns and oolats
G-spots.
and cheese spots.
Wow, you guys are getting thrown me for a loop here.
Oh my gosh!
I'm kind of excited for this one.
I am
Mike.
too, honestly.
You got the bottle opener, though.
Oh, I do. This is
So-
5.1
All right,
ABV.
well, you're getting that one ready and pouring. I'll read it has a little bit down here. It doesn't say much about it, but it says, "Our classic, sitting together on long wooden benches, enjoying pretzels and hearty snacks and treats, feeling that Bavarian hospitality and camaraderie, the perfect service donned in a smart-looking traditional costume, nearly complete, but what absolutely can't be missing. A liter of Hofbrau Original. Luminous golden yellow with a foamy white crown. You can already taste the refreshment. Slightly malty, full-bodied, mature, and with an elegant finish. A beer with character for our connoisseurs with character."
Okay,
Or it could be for Mike's thing, a character for the connoisseurs.
there you go.
So you're our character part.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I got a good this is one from Toby here too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, this one's again is a little bit darker than your normal,
Right.
you know.
And did you see they call the white foamy stuff a crown?
oh, it's not head.
It's
over
not
there,
head, it's a crown. Maybe we'll have to start using that to up our game.
Yeah, we'll sound really hoity-toity then. Smells good.
That's not bad.
No,
That's smooth.
I do enjoy the artwork on the bottle where it's got like those old German style architectural looking on the buildings and such. It's pretty cool. Right. I like that.
So, kind of full disclosure on a lot of this here. A couple years ago, my dad wanted to have a German night where with some of our friends, and so I made up a bunch of my mom's food because my mom was from Germany.
Nice.
And he got all this beer and brought it over. And
He flew over and
Yeah,
came.
it was actually him, not me. Mike.
Okay.
So, and so he was the one that picked some of these out because some of them were his favorites.
Nice.
The better ones, in my opinion, are we drank those, so I wasn't able to share those.
Sure.
But so yeah, I think this is kind of cool that we're going through this today in honor for my dad who just passed away the other day.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Yes, very much so.
Hey, can we toast
Here's
to Bob?
toast to Bob
toast about.
because he used to listen to the podcast all the time.
He did listen to it.
See?
And he's got good taste in beer.
Well, he's still listening to it.
He told me he listened to it to hear me, which wasn't enough. So I was supposed to let you know that.
Oh my gosh!
Well, we'll start cutting Mike out and bringing Toby in more.
I was thinking I was going to cut more that way.
Wow.
Especially after he tried to say you were going to cheat on your phone. That was not very
Yeah,
nice.
that was kind of mean.
Well, see, it was
That's
better.
really
I got a
mean.
more honest guess, though. Did you see that?
It's
true.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
See? I'm trying to use the teacher aspect.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Wow, this tastes good.
Hofbrau makes good beer. I mean, honestly, they're
they're-
good. Them and Hacker-Pschorr are, I mean, and they've got to be two of the biggest names you would think in German beers, but they both do really well.
Yeah, that's
good.
I think like for all the beers that we had so far today, This one has the most clean finish.
Yes. I was going to say that's the thing. That last one,
It kind of lingered a little
it
bit.
had a bitter that hung on, and this one,
Yeah, I mean, like, I
not
don't know
at
if it
all.
was that lime or whatever, but I mean, this one doesn't have that at all. Just, I mean, this is probably one of those scary ones if you were at
Yeah.
the big tent
Yeah.
and you got a couple of liter of these. You could probably slam this out of the big glass and not even realize it.
I'm sure you've watched a bunch of Oktoberfest videos
Right.
from Germany.
Yep.
And the thing that scares me over there, Toby, are the barmaids that bring the beer, because some of them ladies are carrying like 12 or 14 liters at a time.
Yeah, it is impressive.
And it's like, she
It's
doesn't look
almost
that
as
big.
much, right? Almost as much as the girl weighs herself as she's carrying.
That is unbelievable. And it's like, okay, don't mess with them.
Right?
You know?
And they don't spill it, and they bring
No.
it to you, and they
Nope.
can figure out how to get it out of
They
their
got,
hand. I
here's
mean,
the two.
And
Like
they're
that,
walking
and then they'll
up steps.
they'll stick another one up on top, and it's like, oh my gosh.
And they got crazy Americans like doing dancing and doing carrier quals across the tables, and they don't spill anything.
That still is one of those things on my bucket list, is I want to actually go to Munich for the actual Oktoberfest one time.
just if you invite us, well, Toby and I'll go along
Well,
with you.
now that we know that Toby's got access to a plane, he could fly us over.
true.
He
see?
could, but he wants you to like step up and
And actually just pay, so
Yeah.
he doesn't
Well,
have to be at,
I see no reason why the NorthwoodsBeerGuy can't start sponsoring trips like
there
that.
you go.
you would think.
See?
You would think.
Pick up
We'll
a
have
few
to-
sponsors, and
we'll
we
have
can
to
do an overseas
Start
one.
hitting up people for sponsors, and yeah. I like how you think.
All right, Toby, what are you thinking on the score for this one?
Is Toby, or is it my turn to go?
Toby's.
Toby's? Okay, perfect.
Hey, sit in your little chair over there and pipe down.
Wow.
Speak when
He's a
spoken
feisty
to.
one. I mean,
I tell you what, I am going to chop block him when.
I'm scared to answer. I might get yelled at.
Yeah, if it's not what he thinks, you're in trouble.
Wow. So where does this fall? Comparing today, this is definitely better than the other ones we've had. I think it's got some really good flavor to it. Very smooth. And again, I knew I'd do this with that Megadeth beer, but that was really good, and I gave it that 3.2, I think, right?
Yep.
But I think, like, when I look at the beers, and you compare this one, I'm 3.2, 3.3, somewhere in there. So I'll say 3.2.
All right. Yep. There's no wrong answer.
That's right.
Okay, Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to go with 3.1. I do think, like you had mentioned, Jim, like the finish on this one is really like clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not like that last one. The flavor, it's not like over the top, but it's got a good flavor to it. And I think it's 3.1 all day long.
Yep. So I think I'm right in there too. Because I do have that opening for 3.1, so I'm going to slide that right in there. Be my best beer for so far today too.
Nice.
Well, that's good. So that was the
Hofbrau
Original.
Now what do we got coming up?
I'm excited for this one because
Oh, is this another one from Toby, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh,
This is
imagine
another
that.
Hofbrau with the cheese spots over the A on this.
yeah. And
Cheese
so that makes the word
Yeah.
Dunkel.
No, I thought it was
This is
umlaut.
no, you said cheese spot, just like the hash browns instead of a hashtag.
Oh my gosh, now I'm really
Now he's
Where are you
like,
coming
on what? This is their Hofbrau Dunkel,
Hofbrau Dunkel.
and the bottle looks the same, except it's a different color on the label, but it's still, I think it's, that must be their factory, I'm guessing, is that. 5.5%. So we stepped it up a little bit.
One little notch.
Yeah.
All right, I got a little bit here from the website.
Okay.
It says Bavarian beer in the Munich style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that must be what Dunkel means then, right? Is that what it means?
No, I think Dunkel means dark
Oh, okay.
in the translation, but
That looks pretty.
it's the Munich style is this style of beer for them.
Okay. So it says Bavarian tradition, the archetype of the Munich beer. You can taste its history. This is Hofbrau Dunkel. Long before wheat beers and lagers wetted the throats of Germans, the bottom fermented dark beer was quenching the thirst of Munich residents. The first beer, which was served in the Braun Hofbrau house, still satisfies to this day with its roasted, hoppy taste and the subtle malty finish.
Nice.
One of the things on the bottle that it says as well here is it says that dark specialties were being made in Bavaria long before the advent of pale beers. Guess that was something that I didn't realize.
But they invented pale beers so that they could be transported, right, over long distances on the ships. Isn't that what that was?
Well, that was when they started upping the hops.
Yeah.
So
IPAs.
last longer.
So it lasted longer on the ship to get over to wherever they were going. Boy, this has got a good flavor to it.
Yeah.
This is for sure the darkest one we've had.
Yes.
So far.
This is dark brown, right? It's not.
Oh yeah, it's
not one of our barrel aged ones, but it's close.
Boy, that's got good flavor.
Yeah. Good beer.
It has that little bit of a maltiness to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very good.
Well, then, since you wanted to go first last time, you want to go first now?
Since I got giddy and
Jumping the gun there.
Yeah, I was jumping the gun. I'm going 3.5. I like this. Whoa. This is really good. This is the best one so far today, my opinion. Totally. Hands down.
Mike and I are on the same page today. That was a number I had in my head too, 3.5 for sure.
And what sticks out for you for the flavor?
It's just smooth. It's got a great taste to it that you can certainly sit down and have more than one of these, and I don't think it's filling. I just think it's a smooth, great beer, and it just has that little bit more than just like what a Pilsner normally does, but it's not overbearing by any means.
Yep.
So, Mike, before I give my score, I know we're doing German beer, but this is our only Dunkel for this category, right?
Yes, for today,
so
yep.
Most of the other ones are Pilsners or ales, right? So this is our only Dunkel.
Correct.
So does that change your scoring because it's a different beer than the rest? Just asking that question.
Personally, I really like Dunkels anyway.
Okay.
So I still think it's very good as a Dunkel.
As a Dunkel,
yeah,
okay.
I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay, but it doesn't change your thought because it doesn't align.
Correct.
It comes from the same area, but
that's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like I said, I think it's really good. We've had a lot of Dunkels, Dunkel Weissens and all those, different styles, but I really like a good Dunkel is hard to beat, really.
Okay. And I was just asking that question because, sometimes we try to, we're struggling when we try to group some of these sometimes. And I think we got the group is right, but sometimes the beers, because this to me, it also sticks out above the rest. But I just wanted to make sure that, we're trying to level the playing field for all of them. So I'm going to go with 3.2. It is my best beer too so far today. Great flavor, the color, the finish, everything's good on this.
Yep.
No issues at all with this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's, like I said, just a very good representation of what an actual Dunkel should taste like.
Agreed.
So, yeah. Hofbrau does a great job, and like I said, we've tried a number of them, and I can't remember ever having a bad one, and that's a good thing.
Right?
They don't lead off saying the skunkiness is what you're looking for.
And Mike, just to remind you, Toby brought these.
Yep, I know he did. He flew out there this morning. He told me. Remember?
But remember, you are still lacking in that category.
Boy, I tell you.
Toby,
have you ever thought about being the full-time co-host?
I'm not going to get between you two.
So here, hey, I'm going to follow up on the question that I talked to you guys before about the original Hofbrau. When I typed in the website, the original was 16. What's the age limit for Hacker-Pschorr?
I'll say 18. Unless it's 12. Like
right, I'll stick with 12 just because it's probably not.
Are you 18?
Hey!
So, so overseas there's really not a standard for age limit.
No, and the reason I threw out 12, and this may have changed. It's been a couple of decades since I've been over there, but I was always told that the legal drinking age in Germany was 12, but I think you had to be with your parents at that point. And then I think it was the 16, you could just drink wherever. Yeah.
Okay. Just drive yourself right up to the bar.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah.
Well, do you remember, Jim, one of the earlier podcasts when you were talking about, I can't remember what it was, you were doing trivia questions again, but it was, remember because I had said, back in like the Middle Ages, they drank ale because the water was so bad that they had to drink something else, and I'm not saying that's what, how that started in Germany or wherever, but it is a whole different thing, I think, overseas.
Right. Well,
compared to the U.S.
And what's weird is, these beers taste pretty good. So if you're a 16 or 18-year-old kid trying these beers, they're not bad tasting. So
No.
I mean, it's not like some of those crap, like a sour or
I was gonna say,
barrel aged.
does Hofbrau or Hacker-Pschorr do they make a sour or anything like that?
I'm guessing no.
So they're not turning the children off by making this beer or having that. So, sometimes children don't like that flavor, but I mean, these beers, there's nothing wrong with the flavors. I mean,
No, they've been very, very good, very mellow, and
There's a whole nother side of that when you limit things or you can't have it. When you do get it, I think in the U.S. we go overboard with it.
right.
But if you grow up knowing that you can drink a beer whenever, it's not a big deal. But the only time, again, laws may have changed, but the last time I visited my cousins, took us around on a trip and they drove obviously their car and they're like, well, you want a beer? I can drink a beer in the car. Yep. But if you get pulled over as the driver, you lose your license. You're done.
oh, wow.
Oh,
There's no
oopsie.
right. There's not that first offense, second offense.
So you're not
like
going
we
to have like
over
a
here.
5-time, 6-time.
No, I mean you're just done. Your license is gone if you're drinking and driving.
So you can drink, but they come
Make
down
sure.
really hard on drinking and driving.
Yep.
Well,
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
No,
I
so
totally
two different
get it.
approaches to it.
yep.
Yep, for sure.
All right. So you want to try this Weissbier?
I gotta grab it. Okay, Hacker-Pschorr, and it's got a dude on it.
A dude on
A
it?
dude on there,
Mr. Shore, I
and
think
it's
is
a
his name.
Weissbier.
Weissbier. Yeah.
Weissbier. And again, 11.2 fluid ounces. So that must be the standard bottle size over there. 5.5%. So again, the same as the last one.
And I got a little right up here.
Okay. Once you read that, I'll crack this open.
It says our unfiltered Hacker-Pschorr Weissbier.
Weiss.
Vegan, is naturally cloudy, full flavored, and uniquely refreshing. George, without the E, Shore, in his day owner of the Shore Brewery, and a man of true foresight, spread word of his exquisite and enjoyable Hefe Weissbier.
Weissbier.
I don't know what's Hefe.
Like a Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
So maybe it's half and half, and made it popular beyond the borders of Bavaria.
It is a little cloudy.
It is.
Yeah.
Kind of has what some IPAs, or
Yep.
those little lighter hazy IPA would have.
On the aroma, it almost smells like a Hefeweizen. Kind of that, a little bit of that smell to it.
Is it? Give me that smell.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that smell. Jim, can't you smell that smell?
Ooh, that's got a different flavor
I think that flavor's pretty good, though.
from what we had today. I mean, that is different.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the I'm trying to think of that's got to be the hops, right? Or
It could be the yeast.
because it kind of
whatever
dries
kind
out
of-
my
The
mouth.
yeast, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever the strain of yeast that they use.
Because it's this one's like drying out my mouth. It's not as
I don't get that, but I definitely can get like that. Like I said, almost like a Hefeweizen, a little bit of a flavor, but it's not as dry as a Hefeweizen, if you want to say it that way. I mean, I like this. This is good.
I do get what you're saying, Jim. It kind of the finish isn't anything that lingers, or it just all of a sudden seems kind of like your tongue is dry.
right. Nothing bad.
No,
it's
not
just
at all.
but a different way that it finishes compared to the other ones.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, good because we're trying something. They're not all the same.
No.
There's a little bit of difference in each one.
And it's kind of interesting when you look at, especially like you said, the German beers, when you see, here's a Weissbier, here's the Dunkel, here's, they got all these different styles, but they're not as wide apart on the spectrum as what we
yes.
have
Yep.
here per se, but they all are uniquely different and they have their own flavor to them, and boy, I tell you, like I said, Dunkels are great. Hefeweizen. I mean, all this, they know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, they've done it, like Toby said, I mean, several hundred years.
Yeah.
Hundreds
So
of years.
here's quoting the bottle. Since 1417
Oh my gosh.
through today, Hacker-Pschorr is considered the special beer for heavenly day-to-day moments. We call it heaven in Bavaria. You call it Hacker-Pschorr.
Oh,
nice.
That was a marketing guy right there. He nailed that one.
He's not the skunk guy.
No, he was not the same guy that said, "Let's put skunk as our big
Yeah.
thing."
Wow.
Oh,
No, this is good.
That drinks well.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I think it's your turn.
Yeah.
I like the beer, but for me, I don't think it's the best one that we've had today because that yeast, that flavor is just a little bit different for me than the other ones we've had. Someone tried to put it in the middle of the pack a little bit. I got an opening at 2.9. I just like it, but that dry finish and that yeast flavor is just a little bit different, but it's not bad. It's just different. I guess. Okay. I hope I explained that right.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as it's not the best one today. I do like the Dunkel better. I think this one I'm going to go like a 3.0. I do like it. And like I said, I think it's for Weissbier, it's actually really good, and I think for Hacker-Pschorr, I've had more of like just their normal stuff. So I think this is the first time I've ever actually had this style. And, if they've been brewing since 14-17,
you get a 1/10 of a point.
You get an extra 1/10 of a point for being around for,
almost 1,000
700 years or whatever, so yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Did you see he was going to, see, Toby.
Wow. See, I give you credit.
He's like, well, yeah, you're right.
All right, Toby, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely in the scheme of things today, not my favorite beer, but I still think it's a really good beer. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely above average, and I'm right with you guys. I'm gonna go the 3.0 as well.
Nice. All right. Well, we're down to our last one, and this one is from Mike.
Yep. Oh. I didn't make it. I just had bought it and brought it.
Oh, Toby, are you ready for this?
I am.
I hope what we should have did is put Toby's beers at the end and tried Mike's at the beginning. It would have probably made better sense for our palate.
Well, and the only reason we did it this way is this just happened to be the highest ABV. So
all the way up to 5.8.
This is 25.8%.
See, but if we
5.8%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is from the U.S. And now remember, we started with a Czech beer, and now we're ending with a Czech style beer. So this is a Czech style dark lager from Revolution Brewing, and the name of it is Pragueress. Here we go, Prague. It's got a
nice artwork.
Nice artwork on the can. It's in a can, pint can.
Okay, yeah.
So do you have some info, Jim? I'll crack this open. Hang on, we'll see.
So it doesn't have a lot.
Nope, still doesn't do the cat call.
This is Revolution Brewing's first Czech dark lager. Beautifully layered charm of its namesake city into a clean, quenching brew that benefits from extended cold conditioning.
Okay.
Soft on the palate and carrying bohemian notes of light, toasty caramel and dark fruit.
Sounds good.
So I guess, and just, Revolution is the Illinois' largest independent owned brewery. You knew that, right? Well, I thought you knew that already.
I'm just going to throw some stuff out here. When you go from tasting beers that are either from Germany, and then you go to a German inspired, Czech inspired beer here in the States, it definitely has a different taste to it. And now, I don't know if it's because it's in the can might affect it as well, but it definitely is different than what than what all these have been up to this point. I
was actually going to give you some credit. This actually tastes decent.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
I'm not ripping it down. I'm just saying it's definitely different than than what the German, what that is. Yes. German or Czech. Yeah. Even because we can't really compare a dark lager to that first Pilsner, but it's just a little different thing to it. Was what I was getting at, I guess.
But to me, it tastes decent. It's not bad.
Man, I should have kept my mouth shut because now he's going to rate it lower than he would have before.
Yeah, this is. It is a little bit darker. It's not as dark as
It's close.
The Megadeth, right?
No, it was the Dunkel was the dark.
That's the one that was
one. Yep, that was like the dark brown. So this is close to a Dunkel color, I think.
Okay, yeah. it's a little bit lighter brown, but not
much. Though. Yeah.
But the flavor still is decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't. The only thing, it doesn't really stand out. The flavor doesn't.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What it is. What do I taste?
Yeah, I'm not getting like that caramel that they were talking about or stuff like that.
I don't know what are dark fruits.
Fig, plum, raisin. What else is dark? I mean, that's kind of like your dark fruit type of thing.
And I don't taste those flavors. I mean, if that's what dark fruit is, I don't.
Yeah, I don't get any kind of thing like that.
No.
But I get like the finish is still fairly smooth. I mean, it doesn't linger. It doesn't. It's just the front end. Like you're looking for a little bit more flavor. I don't think that's quite there, but it's not offensive.
No.
I mean, I think of this entire group, you could drink these on a hot day. If you had a cooler of a 12-pack of each of these, I think you could drink on a hot day.
I think you could
drink any one of these, I think, and
you could bring these to a party or whatever, or to somebody's house, Jim's house, and you would you'd get rid of people would take them. I mean, they would drink them because
so kind of like Mike brings his lower B and C stock.
I have never brought a B and C beer here. I usually bring D's and F's because I know Jim will drink them.
Oh, see.
Wow.
And then I know he's going to have his A's thinking I'm bringing my A's. So then I get his good stuff and then he gets the crap that I kind of don't want.
I'm not sure you should have revealed your secret, Mike.
Yeah. Dang it.
Thanks, Mike.
Man.
Thanks, Mike.
You see, I totally messed that up again. Dang it. Toby, you got to... Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
No, the viewers can't see it, but I was trying hard to get you to stop.
Giving hand and arm signals, and Mike was walking right into the wall.
I was just totally just... I'm marching.
Well, since you're on deck, why don't you tell us what you think of the score then? This is our last one in this group.
Me, you're talking?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You were talking a lot there.
I don't mind it. Like I said, unfortunately, I know. Again, it's a Czech style, but I think they do things differently in the States compared to so. But again, we're not really comparing them to them, to each other's per se. But I would say this one, the Revolution, I would probably do I go 2.8.
2.8. Okay.
Yeah. I like it. Like I said, I don't get when you say there's going to be a caramely kind of flavor to it. I'm thinking like a little bit of a sweetness and such. And I really don't kind of pick that up very well, but, it's all right. I don't mind it. Better than average.
Toby, what do you think?
So, and I keep looking at the can and it says Czech style dark lager. So I'm thinking, okay, a lager. Let me think of a lager and a dark lager. And I really like Czech style beers, particularly the Pilsners, because I think they're very smooth and crisp. And this, because it's a lager, I think it's just a little bit different with the dark part of it. It's definitely good. I mean, I think if you look at average, above average, that kind of thing, it's just a little bit above average for me. And I think it's a good combination. And I think what is interesting about it is you're right. You could sit down and have 2 or 3 of those and, you wouldn't feel full. And I don't think your palate would be like, oh, I can't drink any more of that. So I'm a 2.6.
Okay. All right. And I think I'm falling right in line with you guys. I mean, it's not a bad beer. And it's not and I think for us, I mean, we're trying to group the beers together as best we can. I mean, we're not perfect in our grouping. I mean, we're going by what we have available, so we're trying to keep so the listeners can kind of have some similarities that we're trying to describe for them. So, I mean, this one again is a little bit of an outlier, from the rest of them. It's not a bad outlier, but it's a good. I mean, we had 2 Czech style beers. The taste is totally different.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, but it's just the brewmaster's take on that style of beer, which I think for us is good because then we're seeing different ways that they make their beer, which is kind of what we're trying to do with the podcast is to show people different styles. So I think that was great that we got an opportunity to talk about different beers like that. I mean, I hope you guys see the same. So even though I rate this one a little bit lower, I think we all did. It's not that it's a bad beer. It's just, we're just kind of giving our opinion on this category and what we're seeing, right? I mean, I hope that makes sense. Hope I didn't talk too much on it. I'm gonna say 2.6.
Okay.
Same with Toby.
Yep.
I trust his judgment.
Wow. He is.
Thanks, Jim.
I really hope it's the medication that that's talking now because
I twisted when I put it in.
you sure did.
I don't know. I think there's a pattern with him.
There is.
So meds or no meds.
And I'm kind of not liking it. I see what he's doing, and I really don't like it.
All right, so should we do our summary?
Mm-hmm.
Should we have Toby kick it off? Because most of these were Toby's.
Yep.
So what do you think, Toby, like your top
2 or 3, whichever,
or something that you thought in general about the category?
So, I think you kind of explained it before you rated this one, Jim. Like, we're trying to do some groupings of some similar beers to kind of go with a theme and get people to understand what we're talking about and then explain the differences in them. But I think for me, even though my ratings of like the Dunkel was my highest rating, the 3.5, I enjoyed that beer and I would drink a ton more of it. There's no doubt about it. The original was a 3.2, and that tied for my second place along with that Megadeth beer. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to go out and say that that Megadeth beer was good, and today that's my favorite beer. So
nice.
That's my favorite, even though I rated the Dunkel at a 3.5.
Okay. Yep, that's cool.
For me, I agree. The Dunkel was my highest scoring beer. Mm-hmm. The one, honestly, that surprised me the most was that very first one.
Oh,
honestly,
nice.
that I was surprised. A good surprise. I really liked that. In this 4.4%, I thought it had a better flavor for a Pilsner than I'm used to. Right. And yeah, was honestly the biggest surprise of this category to me was that first Pilsner. I mean, they did a good job, and I could drink several of those.
I mean, and for me, thank you, Toby, for letting your dad find these for us. These, to me, they're the best ones. I think good representation across the board of all these beers. Mm-hmm. They all tasted good. I mean, this is one of those few times again where all of our ratings were above average for all the beers that we tried.
Very true.
Which it doesn't happen very often. I mean, it does happen occasionally, but I mean, so that just kind of gives the listeners an idea that the 3 different people all tasted good. Even though there was differences, some were a little bit higher, some were a little bit lower, I think it was still overall good. And I think I'm kind of with you guys. I like that Dunkel. Maybe it's because you like the dark beers a little more. But I thought that was by far, for me, the best one. And because I think we've had some Hacker-Pschorr. I don't know if we even put them on the podcast. I may have found some.
Oh, yeah, we've had.
But I think the flavor for the Hofbrau seems to me like the brand in general has a little better flavor.
Sure.
So that's kind of, so it's not surprising, but I think it kind of reinforced how good they are for me. So that's kind of my take on that.
Okay. Well, awesome. So, yeah, Toby, thanks for bringing all these really good beers, and thanks for letting me put 2 really not so good beers in with your really good beers, as Jim would say. So he doesn't have to say it. So, yeah. So, yeah, I guess, guys, like I said, I thought I was going to be flying solo on this one, and the fact that both of you guys made it is great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So we are going to wrap this up, I think. And
all right, yeah.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. And again, this was our German and a couple of Czech style. And
just make sure everybody keeps listening, because I've got in a couple of the next episodes, I'm going to be quizzing some of the people that are going to be part of the podcast and see how smart they are on their beer and military knowledge. So make sure you keep listening. Because
that's totally not going to he's going to throw stuff that, dude, really? That's like, everybody knows that.
Right. So I want the listeners to tune back in so they can see if they know some of these questions, some of these answers. Okay. Because, I mean, if you're in the military, you probably know all these answers. So
sure. Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure you guys are educated too.
And I will guarantee you he won't make us feel bad if we get him wrong.
No.
Not at all.
I'll be laughing as hard as I can without falling on the floor.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see how that goes. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. And as we always say, we hope your campfire is always warm.
And your beers are always cold.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at NorthwoodsBeerGuy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.